Welcome everybody to a very special episode of In the Stiffs. It's a bit of a party atmosphere. We're here at the House of the Rising Sun for what is our 50th episode. Woo! Well done, lads.
Half century.
Half century.
Lovely.
Gone quick, that, innit?
Do you reckon? I think it's dragged on a bit.
Feels like when Wit said 50, I was like, I didn't imagine it'd be 50, but like time flies when you're having fun and all that.
Considering it took us about 3 years to get their first episode done, I mean, we've done all right, haven't we?
So is this where we start talking about when I turned up with just a laptop, no leads and, and no equipment? Is that right? We like that one, don't we?
But the theme of tonight is we're going to name every episode now, aren't we? See what we can remember.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I remember Joe, Connor Cody, Ryan Lowe, Jodie Craddock, Ryan Barnett.
You'll get all the guests, definitely.
You get the guests, wouldn't you? We could name the guests. We couldn't name all the topics, could we? Yeah. We couldn't name all the mistakes I've made with like stats, could we? Certainly couldn't name that.
That's like one of the questions tonight. I'm looking forward to that one because it still tickles me.
Yeah.
But 50 though. So party atmosphere.
Right. Well, yeah. But obviously we're at the House of the Rising Sun upstairs. James has sorted that out, hasn't he? Ex-employee of House of the Rising Sun now with Evolve. James, did you prefer working for Evolve or House of the Rising Sun?
But it is amazing here, isn't it? The food's incredible. I think.
Well, I hope so. We'll get food's coming out in a minute. We'll give it a little. There'll be a little review for it.
Yeah. Food review.
Food critics.
If this beef's too chewy, it's not going to go down well.
Life coaches, podcast, YouTubers now. Yeah, well, your sons are fuming because you're pretending to be a YouTuber.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it's a quick one on that. We did the YouTube of the Brackley match, which was brilliant. Great day. Me and Dave had an amazing day down with Gav at Brackley. What a great bunch of people. What a great club. What a good side as well. Battered Scunthorpe second half, didn't they? Absolutely destroyed them. It was amazing at the end.
How about this for an idea?
Go on.
We hire a minibus and we give away...
Don't need to hire a minibus. Crossbar.
We'll use Crossbar minibus and let's get 10 of our listeners, viewers, and we'll all come down to a game. A bit of an In the Stiffs day out.
Flipping heck, Dave.
That'll be class, wouldn't it?
How did
is that just come straight off?
Just come now. It's ideas.
What, a competition? Or did they have to pay?
Well, let's see if anyone's interested first.
I was going to say,
to come
down to watch me and my team at Brackley. Oh, it was a brilliant day.
We get 10 or 12.
Yeah.
And as well, I've already spoken to like the chairman, the CEO, all the supporters. Like they're absolutely buzzing with like obviously the interaction and the exposure and stuff like that. They loved it.
We had an amazing day. Honestly, I'm not just saying it because we had a real good day. Come down with your lad Hector as well. Hospitality was really good.
He loved it. Hector wants to go Saturday.
He's got a shirt, isn't he?
He's got a shirt. He loved it. He's waiting for training tomorrow on Friday night.
Steve at the club, I said to him, Mark, can you get him a shirt? And like literally arrived 5 minutes. They're just salt of the earth people, brilliant people who just want to like
we'll organise that
community congregate.
We'll try and get it away from a Shrewsbury game, Shrewsbury home game.
We've got a Wolves game coming up that we're going to, aren't we?
We're going to video at the Wolves game, are we?
Yeah, we're going to video at the Wolves game. Hospitality.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
Are we? Hospitality?
Yep. Via Crossbar.
Hospitality. But are we going to be able to get downstairs in the mix? Dave, you have to sort that one.
Get some passes.
Get us down there in the mix.
Yeah.
Get it filmed. See if you can get me last 10.
See if we can get us in the interview room. We'll do our own interview styles at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Let me have a race with Neto. Right.
So that's a great idea, Dave. I love that.
Let's do that.
Minibus. See, all in the Stiffs fans.
Yeah.
Come down to Brackley with us.
Yeah, 50th episode. Dave's come up with an idea. I mean, that's amazing.
Note that down as well. Note that down. That's a landmark in itself.
Right, 50th episode. So we've opened this up as the final. It's also the 50th episode, but the final episode of the series. We've asked the viewers and listeners some questions. Wits is microphoned up for the first time ever. Ian Whitfield, a.k.a. Wits, a.k.a. what do you call him, Gav?
Can I say on there?
No, can't say that. First question, Wits, fire away. Come on, ask anything.
The babysitter, I call him.
Have you been looking at? You said you looked at the questions. Then we just had a quick glance at what we did there.
Glance. Yeah, I'll be honest. I'll add a little glance. I can't remember what's coming.
Okay, go on then, Wits. First question. Okay. Is your mic working, Wits?
I don't know. Is it? Excellent.
Yeah. How's Wits' voice sounding? Do you think on?
Very, very dour. It always was.
Is it? Okay, mate.
That's self-awareness.
That's always it.
mysterious with that.
Ian, the babysitter Whitfield.
No, you didn't call me that. You called me a pussy.
I always think mine's going to sound like Marlon Brando.
I'm talking about your official title, like your UFC title. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, do you want a question?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah, go on.
Best moment from the first from this series.
This.
Yeah.
No, go on. I don't know.
The food comes out of this.
I don't mind it.
Go on, Dave.
Shout out who's it from?
Who's it from? Evolve Media.
Oh, is it?
Get that little plug in.
That's what I didn't say.
Yeah. Self-plugging. I know what mine is.
Go on.
Fear Coach, that episode. I really enjoyed
It's hard
that.
to beat that.
I really enjoyed it. Us going out as well. It's nice. And we travelled down to Woburn, didn't we? Which is always nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, it's always
But
good.
yeah, I felt like I learned a lot in that episode. A lot about myself, which you don't usually get when us three are just talking.
I've said it previously as well. Like, what my thing with Drew was, I like love all of his messages, love how direct they are, love how like they're actually to the point and they make a load of sense. I worried whether I thought he was going to be a bit Hollywood, didn't I? Do you remember when we were going in? I was like, seeing a lot of his stuff. Is he going to be a bit Hollywood? Is it a bit for show? And actually, when you're in his presence, it's like he's just so committed. And he's so committed. He's so like
all in.
He's all in, mate. Yeah, and so I got to agree. I was like blown away by that.
Yeah, I think that's the only episode that I've listened to twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
For what reason? What?
Just because genuinely interested in it. Like the other stuff, the stories. I think I know probably a lot of this isn't like stories, but I like that, like unpicking it. You know, I'm quite interested in that. I think there's layers and stuff, isn't it? Layers to it, yeah. So so I'd agree with you there. It's a big shout for Drew. Tag Drew in that, he'd be over the moon with that. It's the first time he's ever won something. He used to get relegated. He's just won something for the first time ever.
What are the other options? It's hard to think back in it.
Yeah, they honestly, all the series mixed into one for me a little bit.
Yeah.
With the guests, because we film at different times.
Barney was this series.
That was fascinating as well, wasn't it? Listen to the Wrexham story.
Just a great young lad, isn't he? Like, yeah, love him.
My eldest daughter's got a bit of a, like, she's going to hate this, but she's got a little bit of a soft spot for him. Yeah. And, like, only from when we were at Telford, obviously she was a lot younger then, so she had a little bit of a crush. So she now got a bit of a soft spot. It's like she wants him to do well. Yeah. So, like, when we went to the Shrewsbury-Wrexham game, she was like, is it bad? I want him to do well. And I was like, we're a little bit like that. What I want him to do is I want him to wrap loads of crosses in, but like worldy, but Shea Dunkley heads them away. And the keeper cracks. Yeah, and everyone's like, oh my God, he's unbelievable. But Shrewsbury win 2-1. Yeah. Like, that would have been perfect.
A special mention also to the White Horse episode with Dan Udo.
That was quality.
That was nice.
Yeah,
I think
that's it. For me, like, I'm Dan all over and I. So
he's your boy, isn't he?
The way he walked in.
He's not your boy. You look very different, but he's like.
Yeah, we are slightly, but we are close. And like the way he walked in, and just although people had a little bit of an inkling, and we tried to do it a little bit late, didn't we? There's going to be a guest, and we didn't want people to know, and they thought, I wonder it could be, and they probably thought, because Gav might be close to him, and you might know players or whatever. But when he walked in, you could just see the sheer delight on the supporters' faces. That's the bit that got me. Yeah. And then he's such a class act, isn't he?
Oh, he's amazing.
He's quality.
But what I've been like, I can't say. I mean, I don't know whether we would say it, but there's been no guests that have been a disappointment.
Oh no.
Is there? I can't
normally us, isn't it? It's a disappointment. Yeah. It's normally just us three. I mean,
really. There's been many episodes I've been disappointed with you two, but none where I've been disappointed with a guest.
And that's why we said it. We said it in. Sorry, Dave. We said it in the first series, didn't we? About the likes of Joe and those stupid stories that go around, and then. Like
the burn of £50 notes.
Yeah.
I can't imagine any of our guests have ever done that.
Not in a million years. I've never known anyone, even in my younger years, being outlandishly stupid on a night out. No one I know would even dream of it. But like, it's not rocket science, is it? Like, people who are successful normally, if they sustain success, they're good people. Yeah. It's very rare that you get someone who is successful in the eye and lauded by other people. Yeah. Very rare that you get they're a whopper, aren't they? Yeah. We ain't had many of them. We ain't had one of them, have we?
No.
It would be good if we got one.
I would like it.
I'll be honest, would you say? Because I think we'd have a bit of a duty. Say we got like Jason McAteer in and he started being a helmet, I'd be like, not having him. I'd be honest.
I agree.
We've just not had one, have we?
No. Not at all.
We'd fill him in, let him go
one more
give him a good idea.
to finish the question about best of series.
Oh my God, Dave's on fire tonight, isn't he? Well, he's called us the Dave Edwards episode. He's brilliant. I love it, Dave.
The Wrexham episode we did not long ago at the Shrewsbury Ground.
Yeah.
Build up to the FA Cup special.
Yeah, that was quality.
That was a brilliant night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So if you didn't come down to that, that was really good. We'll do more events like that. But having Andy Morrell was great, Holty was great, Jamie Tolley was...
Jamie Tolley.
Yeah.
He was quality.
He was X-rated.
Yeah, but Toll was like, he did hover on the line, but I didn't think he did go over the line once or twice.
If we ever release the deleted scenes, you'll see that he did go over the line.
Yeah.
He did go. He
Yeah.
did go there.
Which is why we didn't do it live,
But
wasn't it?
that was a great night as well, wasn't it? So we've been
Amazing.
Isn't it nice when you look back and you think, actually, it goes by
Great
slow, doesn't
memories.
it? We've had amazing.
But the greatest time
amazing
since we started was obviously the Brackley episode.
Yeah.
That was obviously the greatest
And
episode.
we would still
moment in the history
even
of the podcast.
even though it's probably made the three of us millionaires, we'd have done it for nothing, wouldn't
Oh
we?
yeah,
the
it would
podcast?
have done, yeah.
It hasn't made
We
us
made a lot of
millionaires.
money, didn't we? So far.
We're on the verge of monetising it, aren't we?
Yeah.
On the brink.
Apparently
we're
there's
getting there.
£7 round the corner, isn't there? Waiting for us.
Do it for the love of it, don't we?
Yeah.
Do it for the love.
Yeah. I think we answered that. Sorry, that was only one question. Go on.
You're fine. Next one's
Oh,
from...
that'll be fine. You know about Witzes as well. He never goes overboard. Like, we spent 10 hours speaking to Joe Hart, like Man City and England legend, and it was amazing. And like Joe bought us all food, and we like Witzes hero. And then we all got back on the bus, and we were like, me and Gav looked at each other, and we were like, wow, that was incredible. And I said, you all right, Witz? And he was like, late, isn't it?
What do you think of that? That was amazing, Wits, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, we've never
What an
experienced anything
insight.
like that. What an insight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. What time are we going to be home?
It's a long journey.
Keeps us grounded. It was a long
Baby-
journey. It was
As
a
a
long
babysitter.
journey. It was late. Like, we just
Stopped
had-
off at the services. Do you think you need another drink? Shut up, Wit. Shut up. We'll be all right. We'll be all right.
Anyway, moving on.
Sorry, Rich.
Next question, a bit similar, from Cords Crush Cancer. How did you find the live event at the White Horse? Because I'm guessing it was the first into a pub one we did.
But the live events have been amazing. Obviously, the Theatre 7, we put an awful lot of work into that. And a lot of, it was prep and it was quite crisp and everything, wasn't it?
And we got the support like we deserved. We sold it out, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like, selling out the Theatre 7 is like, you talk about bucket lists. If you're gonna do a show at the Theatre 7 and sell it out.
It's one of the things I've been most proud of from a professional point of view in my life.
Wow.
I think it was incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was
And
incredible.
we marketed it amazing, wasn't it? Was that when we had Evolve?
No, we
That
didn't
was
have
before
that.
Evolve, but we marketed it amazingly well.
Yeah. We probably hit heights that have never been reached again.
Struggled with the marketing recently, didn't we?
No, but that was brilliant, wasn't it? But that was like a sort of polished, a big performance, isn't it? Which might do again, but like the White Horse was brilliant. Then we had intimate.
Do you know why I like the White Horse though? Because and we did this strategically, by the way. We did it like a little bit last minute, and we were like, we're going to back ourselves. And we ended up getting 15, 20 people there, and we were like, we're going to get about.
That's all we could sell, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. We said we'd go 15 tickets, just really close and intimate. They went like that, and that was really good. I thought.
Like the value those guys had with obviously Dan Udo turning up as well, which no one knew who was coming. So it's something, it was something really special.
They had loads of value out of it, but then Sam started going, "Oh yeah, you can come to the next one for free."
Yeah, he did.
I was like, Sam, they've literally had the greatest night ever. We've had the greatest night ever.
Yeah, but
and Sam's going, you can have my car, you can have my house.
They'd all had a few pints, so they forgot about the free tickets. So let's just charge them full price, and
They'll be fine. Yeah,
they've been on the wiser.
But it was amazing, and then obviously we've had the Shrewsbury one.
A bit of food coming. Yeah, here we go.
Wow.
No, it's all right,
thank you,
mate. That's class. What we on here? Look
Oh,
at that,
thank you very much.
mate.
Great.
I'm presuming we're all sharing it.
I'm just getting stuck in. This is what you get in it.
Thanks, mate.
House of the Rising Sun.
Which you're going to come on camera to grab what you want.
What?
We'll have to edit a bit of this out.
No.
Oh,
Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
I was going to pop these down here for you.
Incredible. Thank you, mate.
I'll just grab some meze boards as well.
Oh, so good. Thank you.
Oh, do you want to introduce yourself to the camera? No, I really don't.
I love this place.
So this is mine and my wife's favourite restaurant.
Yeah.
So, do you know what?
Mine.
It is one of them where if it's like a special occasion, you come here, don't you?
Yeah.
When I was younger, there was a restaurant called Clowns, and we used to go there as kids. It was really cheap, but not like this. This is like, you come here for a proper occasion, don't you?
I'm a bit worried now about us chewing and the mic's picking it up. So apologies,
I like it.
listening. I'm just going through a chicken satay at the moment.
oh wow. Thank you, mate.
Good spread, falafel, red pepper hummus, feta, guandilla peppers, and couscous olives.
Amazing, love it, thank you.
For the next question, Wick.
Right, what was the next question? What was the next?
Play up some food first.
Yeah, well,
What was the question?
no, you've answered it about White Horse. Do you want the next one?
Yeah.
It's from the personal trainer. It says, answer
Simon McDonald.
Is it?
My mate. Shout out to Simon McDonald.
loving it. Answer individually. What could you have done differently, with hindsight, to have either played a longer career or played at a higher level for longer? Or did you sacrifice everything and perform at your highest level you could with the skills and abilities you had?
Flipping heck.
Wow. Can I go?
Go on, Gav, you go first.
For me, and again, only like my own personal opinion of myself, live a little bit in regret. I think ability-wise, I think I could have played a lot higher. I feel like there was a culture at the time, if I'm like looking externally, that it wasn't really about those extras, about improving yourself. Even though, saying that, I had the likes of Dave around me who was doing that. I had the likes of Ben Davies who was doing that. I was sort of caught up with that group that would finish training on a Tuesday and go for a drink, and that was instilled really early. But I think ability-wise, I know I could have played a lot higher. I just think that I didn't dedicate myself. But what I have done is I've learnt from that and applied that to my life after football or my life in later football. So I reckon I probably hit my peak when I was 30. I felt like I could have just... there was games and weeks I felt unbeatable. If I'd applied that to myself earlier, I feel like I would have gone on, but I just didn't have that insight to work on my weaknesses and to like make the best of myself and be in the gym and do the extras. I feel like I look back, and again, it's like we saw with me in hindsight. If you knew what you know now, then you'd have been incredible. But
I love how you're looking at Wits to answer the question here.
Yeah, no, yeah, sorry, Wits, yeah, if you knew,
like Wits was asking you personally.
Yeah. Like for me, I felt like I had a lot of ability that I didn't fulfil because I wasn't willing really to. I haven't got the mindset I've got now, which has helped me in later life. But yeah, you do look back and think if I'd have just applied myself there, if I'd just done a little bit more there. But I suppose everybody's got them stories, haven't they? So
100%, absolutely agree. It'd be the same for me. Work harder, practice more, practice your shooting, practice your crossing, practice your touch, practice all them things. If you had that time again, you would have grasped it with both hands, but you don't when you're there. Whereas coming to Dave, I think would be a little bit different. Because you talk about maximising your ability. Dave
was crap, but
he did amazing.
He grafted. Dave couldn't drop a bag of sand, but no, joke. Sorry.
Come on, Dave.
No, I think, again, that's one thing I'm very proud of is in terms of how hard I worked at it. There's still choice. I still liked to drink when I was younger and did all that sort of stuff, but from a training point of view, I never ever sort of put that to that. It was always my focus.
You were incredible, mate.
But I think the one thing that you're always going to have things which you think you could have made you better, but mine would have been just with hindsight and knowing more now is just training a little bit smarter, understanding my body a little bit more, ways I could recover better.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I was younger, I was just flat out running everywhere, not really stretching, not really doing that stuff. And then I do think that catches up with you a little bit later in life. Whereas the back end of if I knew what I knew in the back end of my career and how to recover properly, the right foods to eat, the right things to drink, the right, all the hot and cold stuff, all the stuff which is maximising your performance. If I'd had that early in my career, I think it could take you to another level. I don't think the information wasn't there though. I didn't think when.
And young lads get more guidance now, don't they?
Oh yeah, definitely.
But massively, like we just left our own devices, and I think even things like money, how you look after your money.
There's not many that have got the ability of Gaza that are falling by the wayside now, is there?
No.
They're looked after.
Yeah.
From
a football point of view, I think they are. Yeah, definitely.
You still, do you not still get them? I mean, you still hear about these, but I suppose not anymore. You don't think anybody these days are
there'll always be a couple
gambling it and wasting their money and.
Oh yeah, with the financial side and the addiction side, definitely that will really hurt people. Whether it's gambling, drink, whether it's trying to find that high from somewhere else, take away the pressure of what football brings, that definitely occurs. But I think from someone who's got loads of ability as a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old, they'll be in physically unbelievable shape.
Yeah. Well, they are.
Nowadays, whereas I feel like that wouldn't have been the case 20 years ago.
Absolutely.
No way.
They could get away on their ability, but then carry a little bit of extra weight.
The amount of 5'8" fat fullbacks I used to play against is ridiculous. Now they're all 6'2", lean as anything, rapid, incredible. Even the Brackley, you say that now.
I was going to say that. Mental, wasn't
athletes.
It, watching, like,
they're all athletes.
There was not what like, and so that is Conference North. It's 2 leagues below the Football League, and there was not one player who looked out of shape on that.
They're all incredible shape.
Not
I think.
Player.
Yeah.
I didn't look at any of them and think.
I don't even think out of shape. I think they're in incredible shape. Yeah. Like I looked at their centre offs, like and their centre offs, like Men Mountain, yours are as well. They're all. There's athletes everywhere. There's no one. There's no little fat fullbacks, is there, like there used to be. It's a real shame.
Yeah, and they've got the benefit of knowing that like there's those real 1%. Like we've got either side at the moment who are playing as like Ricardo and Cosmos, who are just absolute out and out athletes. Like Cosmos would be like what 5'8", and like what he makes of himself, his spring, he heads the ball like a 6'5" player. He is so strong, so athletic.
Yeah. But I think I'm trying to get to is like, with no disrespect to that league, but you couldn't sign a player now who had unbelievable ability but was out of shape because it just wouldn't work, would it?
No.
You can't carry players like that.
You'd have to be an incredible player.
I think that's what I was going on to. I think like these lads now know that that's a minimum requirement.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, like you rightly say, it was like
either.
You'll get away with it because I think I heard Robbie Fowler speak about it recently, and he was saying if I was playing today, I would have scored more goals because the emphasis would have been on me physically. Obviously, Robbie Fowler wasn't a physical specimen, was he? But he was, like, ability-wise, out of this world. He's saying now that, if I'd have had that culture of being that physical specimen, then it would have been like... And it's all hindsight, and it's all, like, coulda, woulda, shoulda. But you look at our lads now, their minimum requirement is hard work, desire, doing a job and a half, going above and beyond, being physically incredible.
Being able to, being able to.
It's okay saying I'll go and work hard, but...
You could have said that to me on Saturday.
You've got to be able to run enough. You've got to be able to get up and down that pitch.
Yeah, and you look at like my captain, for example, like Gaz Dean. He was a little bit like my prodigy. I was like his mentor type thing, but he's gone on to be far better than I ever was. Like because he's tuned into, I need to physically be at it. Like I have to physically be like at the best of my ability, and like he's very talented. He underplays it quite a lot, but he knows that that's where he's limited compared to others because that level now, it's easy to say, like you say, no disrespect, it's the Conference North, but Conference North now, there's a lot of players that could easily play in the league, but those players are on like big money in their jobs. Yeah. They then get a secondary income. I mean, where would you want to be? Thinking longevity comes into play quite a lot, especially in our team. There's a lot of lads there that I think could play a lot higher. Yeah.
Go on, Mitch. Ask us the next question. We need to get cracking.
This one's from Marv Chowds.
Okay.
Chowdsy.
Who is the best player you have played against and why? And who didn't live up to the hype?
Ooh. Who's the best player you played against, Dave?
2 seconds. Proceed.
Oh, Gav, can we go to you? Dave's eating. Right, come to me then. Dennis Bergkamp or Patrick Vieira, I'd say. Probably the best. Played against a few.
Vieira story. I like that one.
Oh, it's just no, it's just
a few times I like.
Yeah, it's my old story, isn't it? Keep the noise down in the kitchen, please, during the podcast. It's just the Patrick Vieira story, isn't it? Whereas, like, obviously at the time I was at Sunderland and I was 19, so everybody my age I was like faster and stronger than. I played against Patrick Vieira, who was also 19. Knocked the ball down the wing at Highbury against Arsenal. So, see you later, everybody. Patrick Vieira just come out of nowhere, put his arm across me, just like bullied me. Then done a Cruyff turn. I ran back to try and tackle him again. He just like barged me away again, then just sprinted away from me. And I just thought, there's levels, isn't it? It's like it happens to everybody, doesn't it? Yeah. Just levels. And I thought, wow.
When was the first time, if ever, Dave, did you think I'm a bit out of my depth here? Yours will be a lot later than mine. I remember mine.
I think it was when me and you played against training that time.
No, it was our first season in the Premier League. Whereas, exactly like Sam, I always backed myself in my physicality, being able to run. I just thought anyone I went up against, I'm fitter than you. I'm going to run all over you. Mm-hmm. You might be better at football than me, but I'm not going to give you an inch. And then we played Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, and there's 2 players I say are the best I played against. One was Paul Scholes, and the other's this guy, Stamford Bridge, played against Michael Essien. and he was stronger, quicker, fitter, everything I made.
And you thought,
And
wow.
he was unbelievable on the ball as well.
That's not fair.
We lost 4-0, he scored 2. I was marking him off set pieces.
And he was a really nice guy.
Yeah. And he just smile at you when the ball goes in the
Yeah.
net. But yeah, he was just, that was you get that realisation, don't you?
Of course you
Whereas, right, there is levels to this game.
Yeah. I mean, just take the thing against Paul Scholes, because I mean, it's fascinating that, isn't it? Because obviously he didn't have the physicality or anything like that. So you're thinking, I'll get him
after he was
Scholes.
retired as well. So he retired and then
That's
came
not
back out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were down to 10 men. I've told this story though. We was down to 10 men at Molineux. He was playing. It was 0-0 at the time. They scored just before half time, just after we got Ronald Zuber sent off. Then second half, Paul Scholes just ran the show.
Wow.
And like saying, I think if I can get close to him, then there's no way he can deal with me. Do you know what I mean?
He's not going to track me.
No.
He's not going to be able to hold me off. I'll run over him.
If I went close to him, he'd play one touch. So I'd get there and the ball's already gone. If I gave him space, he would hurt us in behind with his range of passing. And it was just, I actually didn't have an answer to it.
The manager's shouting, get on Scholes, Edwards, get on Scholes, Dave, smash him. And I'm trying to.
I'm just like, I didn't know what was the best way. Do I really go and try and lock onto him? Do I give him the space and try and shut off the passing lanes? Couldn't get close enough for him to physically bully him because he was just a step ahead all the time.
It's a horrible situation that when you're in
horrible.
that and you just think, like, I can't actually impact this at all.
Yeah, and then I've told this quite a few times. Then I went training ground the next day. All the stats up on the wall from your own performance. Mine is like ran about 14k or something stupid, but then passes 16, completed 9 or something like that.
Goal involvement 0, impact 0, crosses 0.
Paul Scholes, passes attempted 101, completed 100.
Yeah.
And he wasn't just playing 5-yard passes; he was zinging it everywhere.
Wow.
He was a special player.
Levels, isn't it? Levels.
I've got 3. Very, very simple. First one was pre-season against West Ham, Paolo Di Canio. So you've got to put it into perspective. I'm like really young. It's pre-season. He's not even bothered, and he's literally on another planet to me. So I'm that like, a little bit like FA Cup.
And you're buzzing.
My senses are heightened. I know I've got to be to the best of the best of the best of my ability. Paolo Di Canio turns up. He ain't even bothered. He's not even asked, and he's still light years away from me.
Hasn't tied his laces.
Which, even if, like, say I was playing in the Premier League and that happened, but for me to be so alert and ready and just like, I remember the left back had the ball and I looked at him and he was there, and I looked at him again, I was trying to get my hand on it, and I looked, and then as I've looked there, he's gone to hit it, and as I've gone to look, and he's already running behind me, and it was just over. So that was the first one. The second season again, we played against West Ham pre-season, and Jermaine Defoe came on for 25 minutes, scored a hat-trick. They subbed him off again. I was marking him, so that was good.
He walks off to you and goes, well played, mate.
Yeah, he's only that big, and he jumped up and tapped me on the head.
Well played, number 4.
Yeah, so that was good. And then it was funny, I watched a podcast the other day, and Jay Boothroyd's talking about a lad called Leon Jean. I don't know if you ever remember this lad. He ended up at QPR, but I played against him when he was at Arsenal, and we drew the game 4-4.
The Arsenal unbelievable youth team, that is.
Yes, and we drew 4-4, I remember, because we scored 2 penalties. But this, honestly, he was ridiculous. And Jay Boothroyd the other day, like, he had a lot of personal problems and a lot, but he was tipped to be around our way in London at the time. He was tipped to be the biggest. And I knew that time, I was like, right, I'm going to have to up my game because I'm struggling here, because I couldn't cope with him. There's nothing I could cope with him. And then, I suppose, like, the big centre forward, Matt Smith. Obviously, I prided myself on winning all my aerial duels. He's probably the one.
Still doing it now.
He's at Salford now, isn't he? I remember just thinking to myself, that's the first 2 headers, and it was almost like I was jumping, and I couldn't get above his armpit. That was my game. It was like, I'll get across you. I will head this. No one ever beat me at that. Yeah. Like I would have been happy going up against John Terry doing that, and Matt Smith just literally.
I was on a flight with him this year. They had a small break.
Which holiday was that, Dave?
I went to Turkey in October, and I think they had a bit of a break. And he's married to Steve Bruce's daughter, so Steve Bruce and his wife are on the plane. Amy Bruce's daughter and Matt Smith on the plane. I sat next to him, and what a lovely, lovely guy. Like super intelligent. Just done his masters in business.
I didn't like him.
He's got involved in an investment firm in London. He's very, very clever.
All right,
a nice guy. So I just thought I'd add that into it.
Yeah, nice.
Nice
Nice
guy.
guy.
Part of the question was,
Nice guy, is
anyone
he?
who's flattered to deceive, you've gone up against and thought, oh,
I mean,
doesn't happen often, does it?
well, I think that's different because you play against people when they're young. Like I played against a lot of people when they were younger and stuff, isn't it? So I remember even playing against like Man U lads, Liverpool lads, and they were young at the time, so you all expect them to be amazing. And there's like Gerrard and Carragher and that, and they were all like young lads at the time. So I was like, hear about these kids coming through, but played against them. I played against Rigobert Song, absolutely battered him. I was like, he's terrible. But then obviously he played for Liverpool next week and got man of the match or something. So I don't know if he got man of the match. I've added that bit on, but I don't know.
I remember playing against Nick Barnby, who obviously was out of this world, but during that game I just felt like he's rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah, battered him.
Yeah. I can't really think of it. The only one I can think of who I thought would be better, but I think it was just down into that game where he didn't have a good game and he was notoriously could be lazy at times. It was when Man City signed Yaya Toure. We beat City at Molineux 2-1, and he was playing midfield, and he just didn't want to be there. That's what it looked like. But I'll talk about me being able to. You saw him 2 years later, and he could run like a powerhouse. But that game, I felt like I could just run off him all day.
Yeah.
He was a bit disappointing. But
Imagine that was the game, wasn't it?
obviously 2 seasons later, though, he scored about 30 goals in a season.
Yeah.
Free kick.
But I think it's a one-off game, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've all had bad games, and even these top players have bad games, don't they? And sometimes you think, oh, I was expecting,
I imagine there's quite a few players in the Welsh Prem last season. He's played where?
What's your biggest disappointment? I played against Dave Edwards, who I thought he'd be a lot better than what he was. Teenage team. Come on then, Wits.
Next one.
Yeah.
Nyla Williams won.
Okay.
Do guests request money to come on?
Well, Jason McAteer mentioned it. He said no. Michael Bridges, after he'd said to me he was coming on, then rang me back and said, "My agent's been on." He said, "Will there be any money for the podcast?" I said, "No." tell your agent no. But I was like, "I've known you since I was 17, mate. Of course there won't be any money." So he went, "That's all right then, mate. I'll ring back and tell him." No.
Tolly mentioned in jest, I suppose I'll be getting a bag of Sam.
Tolly thought he was getting $1,000 for doing the Shrewsbury Wrexham preview, but obviously he didn't.
We bought him a pint, didn't we?
Bought him a pint instead for $3.95 at the Smithies bar.
Everyone's been good, haven't they?
Good, yeah.
I don't really think.
Will we ever get to the stage where you think we'll have to do it?
Well, it depends. If we were making a load of money, which I don't know how much podcasts make any money.
Has there been anyone we don't know, like we've not had a personal connection?
No, yeah, but I mean, if we were suddenly going to try and get on someone who, I don't know, would be, Beyonce.
That is so random.
I don't know why that gets into me head.
She's in series 4.
I was just trying to think of the most famous person, like one of the most famous.
She's in
people.
series 4.
The potentials.
Yeah.
She's in series 4. We sorted that.
Beyonce will go on. So you might stretch to £500 for Beyonce to come over from LA.
I suppose it'd be like a Neil Ruddock, wouldn't it?
Yeah, people are on the circuit who make money off speaking.
Yeah.
If we wanted to get someone like that on, like a Ruddock or whoever, Merson or something like that, you might have to pay them, I don't know, whatever the going rate is for after dinner speakers. Or
I think we know enough people, don't we?
Yeah.
Got a right few guests
Dunno.
lined up for series 4, haven't we?
Yeah.
Just need a sponsor now.
House of Rising Sun sponsor us.
Yeah. I imagine so. They're doing all right, aren't they?
They can be off
Food
We'll see when his bill comes.
pricey, isn't it?
Next one.
Not which wants to get a move on, didn't he?
No, I'm just trying to keep it
That's
flowing.
about okay. Which?
Sandy Mason's got a few. First one.
Oh, that's a bit greedy. Come on, Andy. Relax, mate.
They're nice.
You said 10 questions.
It's a good one. But first one, what's your biggest career regret? We've covered that. So next one is, can Gav talk us through the career of England and Tranmere legend Brian McCrory?
Is that that's a bit of a gag?
It is, yeah. It's shocking from me. I mean, we've not been great at Intel anyway, but I should know this.
You haven't.
Brian McCrory is like a legend. And the reason why I remember Brian was because we came in after a game where we'd been beat. We'd had a 10-game unbeaten run, and we'd been beat 3-1. Can't remember where we were, but I know it wasn't the greatest place on earth. And I came in, and like a spoiled little child, I was going, "We're crap. We're all rubbish. Flipping out. We need to be better." Wasn't really me, but I was a bit young, a bit stupid, and he was a bit more of an elder statesman, and he put me in my place, and it's like one I'll always remember. And again, it's those things, isn't it, that you take on board, that you then put into the younger players. And it's like, you don't talk about your teammates. You don't get like, we stick together. We've just been 10 games on the spin where we've been unbeaten, and then we come and get like, you jumped up little squirt. You know, he said it in slightly different language, but but he was brilliant. And the good thing is I had the foresight as a young lad to take it on board and take it on the chin. But it's one thing, it's a lesson I'll always like remember. And I think it's missing a little bit now. You know, like young lads now, they take it a bit too personal. They don't realise it's about the team, togetherness, sole purpose of winning and achieving things. And he's an absolute legend. So yeah, he didn't play for Everton, he didn't play for Tranmere, but he was a Scouser. Please don't come back and say he was a Geordie. But yeah, he was a top man and a brilliant player. Even at that age, when he was winding down and playing with idiots like me, he was still a top man.
Look, you need to leave that to me. In the next series, leave that to me because I'm head of research.
Yeah.
Head of research.
Yeah. He played with Thomas Sorensen.
That was a bit of a highlight, wasn't it? A bit of a joke, wasn't it?
Last part of Andy's question.
Oh, for goodness sake, Andy. This is the Andy Mason show.
Everyone else would go, really.
Value for money, value for money. Which player did you play alongside for Shrewsbury who you think should have gone higher up the leagues than they did?
I think we'd all say the same person, I think.
Easy. I'm going to say Jamie Tolley.
Yeah, second that.
I'm going to throw a second one in there, though. Well, Jamie Tolley's the obvious one. Like, scary ability, wasn't he?
Go on, who?
For me, Michael Symes. I felt as though he should have played higher. I thought, in terms of a finisher, like, he was 6'2". Like, he was mobile, he was strong, back to goal, incredible finisher. Not sure, I don't know whether that's a mentality thing there. Don't know whether my memory doesn't serve me well, but ability-wise, I could have seen him in the Championship without a shadow of a doubt.
Did he not play in the Championship? Where did he go? Was it Plymouth? No.
Where?
He went somewhere. It wasn't Plymouth. He went somewhere, didn't he, to a bigger, supposed bigger club, didn't he? Huh?
Bradford. Yeah, he went to Bradford.
Yeah.
What division would Bradford been in at the time?
Maybe the one above. Maybe League One.
He literally was player. Like the full, physically excellent, like football intelligence, great, like back to goal, and he would run channels as well. Like, horrible to mark, horrible, and then just his finishing. I remember in training he was just like ruthless, relentless, side footing it corners, side netting every single time. One of the best actually that I've played with. I just remember him so clearly.
Jamie Tolley had everything though, didn't he? Yeah. He had everything to be like a top midfielder.
And could have been a bit of bad luck, not getting the moves at the right time, which I think is really important, isn't it? That's why I'd never blame anybody for getting the move.
Decision mate. It wasn't from his own choice. I'm sure he'd look back and have little bits of regrets, but a lot of it was just timing, wasn't it? Just really unlucky that he had offers for him and they weren't accepted at critical times. Could have quite easily moved on.
I think
because he is someone I'd love to get on the podcast.
And fulfilled his potential on a night out, though.
I think me taking under his wing helped him. I think we're done then. Yeah,
Joe Wills. I'd like to know about
Big Joe.
Coaches and
Willow. Sorry, Wits. Sorry, mate.
JW.
Do you want to read it yourself?
Wits doesn't enjoy them sort of things.
I'm going to have a paddy now. I'm out.
Yes, J-Dog.
Ready, there am I. I'd like to know about how coaches and managers influence the dark arts of football. Were you ever told to fake an injury to waste time or target a certain player to get them sent off? How much do players discuss this sort of thing during a game?
You do, I think, discuss things. If someone's got a temper and a bit of a hothead, absolutely you try and wind them up. I remember we were at Tranmere as well. I didn't go down for penalty, and afterwards Brian Little was like, "Go down, Sam," and I was like, I remember Jason McAtee and Brian Little having sort of a conversation in the dressing room. They were saying, it's a performance. You try and you get the advantages where you can. And I just thought that wasn't really me, though. I wasn't diving. Reputation to protect my Dunkar. I'm not diving.
But my whole thing is to wind people up, though, don't you? Definitely.
Oh, absolutely. If you know you're playing against someone who's a bit of a loose cannon, you're like, right, get them sent off.
Even if it wasn't mentioned collectively, like as a team, like beforehand, which happened quite a lot.
Yeah.
If you smelt someone who was a bit fiery, you'd get stuck into them and start pinching them. And it's funny, like we were talking about this. I won't mention it, but in the Scunthorpe tunnel. The tunnel against Scunthorpe, like the games start already. Like I remember back in the day, like in a tunnel,
Yeah.
Like for me, it started then.
Yeah.
They used to start then, and you used to start trying to wind people up and squirting water on people and stuff.
His legs have gone.
Yeah, like proper getting stuck in. So you would try and wind people up, but I think if you smelt it at the time, I'd have no qualms in trying to wind someone up. Yeah. But I would never, like, I was the other way. If I got whacked, even if I was like wanted to curl up into a ball and cry like a little baby, I would do everything I can not to show it.
Different era though, isn't it? Like you would not show you, like when I played, you would not show you were hurt. Like, even if a fullback went through the back of me and it was a foul, and like you just get back up.
I meet now lads on the, like, obviously in the football circuit, and they're like I don't know, like a coach or an assistant manager or whatever, and we've never played with each other but against each other, and we've had proper wars, proper tear-ups on the football pitch, and we greet each other like long-lost brothers because, like, I'm playing against. Do you remember Tommy Wright at Darlington? I remember having a game against him. I think he might have been at Darlington at the time. And I remember catching him with my forearm because I knew he wasn't going to turn it round a post. And I thought, oh, I've gone a bit too far there. And he got up and looked at me and ran off after, like, he was on all fours. And I thought, oh no, like, I heard that. Like, he's in trouble here. And he got up, looked at me and ran off. I thought, oh shit, I'm in trouble here. And then he smashed me from a goal kick, elbowed me on the halfway line. And obviously, like, inside, I'm like, I just want to curl up in a ball. But you just, like, get up and just look at him and just go, yeah. Like, next one. And like me and him, we would greet each other, and then like Paul Clayton, like these lads, we see each other now. It's almost like you've earned that respect because you haven't whinged and moaned, you haven't gone to the ref, you haven't stayed down, you've got up, and no matter how much you're hurt, and you're thinking, I had it with Gaz Dean on Saturday, took one full ball in the flipping, that bit just under there, and he's like, obviously the game's still going on, and I'm like, you can see he's like wanting to step, he just gets up, gets on with it, and then as there's a break in play, he's sort of going. But even then, he's like, doesn't want anyone to see.
Different, your sort of era, where as you're come towards the end, you must see a difference in the way the lads are reacting like that. You know, people do show they're hurt now. Yeah. I mean, people are rolling around on the floor now. There's tears coming out of players' eyes. Imagine my boy saw me crying from a tackle on the field and never forgive himself.
It's a nightmare when you could be in for attack and you know you haven't caught someone. Yeah. And then they're rolling around.
Honestly, I don't know how.
It's frustrating.
We never had that. Did we?
I can't tell my players to do that. Yeah. I know it's dark arts, and maybe you should because you're trying to gain the edge, but like, can't have it.
It's about dark arts. Do you remember the Jose Mourinho and John Terry, where he kind of said, like, if someone gets injured, like if one of the key players, so John Terry gets injured in the game, he has to go off, but he says just someone else go to the floor because you can't. Once there's two players injured, they don't have to go off. Yeah. So I remember one game, John Terry went down, and then straight away he signalled on, and then Gary Cale's fallen to the floor as well. And then they don't go off, and they're under a bit of pressure, and just little things like that.
It's the 1%, isn't it?
Yeah. For me, that's clever. Yeah. That's not like conceding pain or.
Yeah.
It's the 1%. So as it gets big business and there's massing on the line, people are going to try that.
I think you see it all the time now with head injuries. You know, because the referee has to stop play.
Yeah.
You'll see lads go down, they'll stay down with their heads. So
they've been kicked in the shoulder.
But he has to blow up straight away. The referee does. And then straight away stops the game, but then they'll just jump up. Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah.
But then it's the
moment kicked in the shoulder and they're like that.
But the moment the referee doesn't blow up, there could be a bad head injury, couldn't they? So he's got to do it. But yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, is it, why are you saying that? Is it a difficult question? Is it something?
That's quite a nice one.
Personal. All right.
From Mr. Chilton.
Mr. Chilton. It calls himself Mr. Chilton.
Mr. Chilton, very nice.
All right. Is he a teacher or something? The only people have Mr. Chilton.
Peter Chilton.
Peter Chilton.
Oh dear. Stick to being a manager.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
Do you know of any players who have refused to sign for a club unless they were allowed to wear a certain number? And what happens if two players request the same?
I mean, I never ever requested a number. I just got given one. I never really had that much pull.
You were thankful for the number.
I remember Northampton gave me number 10. I was like, "Oh, are you sure?" I went, "Oh, are you sure about that?" It's a big number. That is a number 10 shirt, like in the hole. You know, the number 10 on set piece.
I think we were similar. Like, I was 4, Dave. Were you 4? Did you like the number 4?
In my career, yeah. I got it at Wolves in my second season there. Then it kind of obviously I had that for a long stretch of time. Then so.
Did you ever ask? Did you ever ask for a number? Did anybody ever come around?
No, only when I went back to Shrewsbury, the Sam Rick was like, "What number do you want?" Because they always give you a choice, but it's what's available really. He went through the numbers, but then he said, "I can't remember the lads," which you might remember. That number 4 at the time, he was like, "Look, don't make a decision yet. This lad will be going this week at some point, and then you can have number 4." So that's when I come back. I can't remember who it was.
I can't remember who it was, but I knew we held off saying what number you were.
It was a big thing with the numbers back then, wasn't it? Like massive, wasn't it?
I used to ask. I'd ask for 4. I'd say if it's available, can I have number 4?
It's not as big now, definitely, but I think probably the era we played in with squad numbers are involved in it. Still, if you want to 11, you feel like
absolutely.
you're one of the main players. I think it's not like that as much anymore, is it?
But it used to be. Like when you get your numbers at the start of the season, 1 to 11 would pretty much be what the manager had in his mind for the first
I asked
team.
Gary Peters, I said, like, if there's a chance, can I get number 4? He said, yeah, I'll let you know, I've got number 16. Okay.
It's a multiple,
walk into the dressing room, you see Cal 16.
Decent. So, I'm a starting.
Brilliant.
But I remember Beckham had to change numbers, didn't he? Talking about players changing numbers when Sheringham came, because Beckham was 10, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Sheringham came in, wanted
Was he?
10.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Wanted 10, and then he
that
went down to 7 then, because Cantona had left, or
Had to swallow 7.
yeah.
Best.
Then obviously stuck for him.
Yeah.
But there's been other occasions like where, like Ronaldo, it happened recently when Ronaldo came back to United. Who was number 7
You must
there?
know the one.
They had to
You must
change,
know the
didn't they?
biggest
Was it
one.
Falcao or someone was 7?
Could be.
Somebody had to change, didn't they?
Give us a minute then. So obviously some Newcastle related.
You must know.
9, Ferdinand had to go to 10, didn't he?
Oh,
Ferdinand
Ferdinand got
Shearer.
10 for Shearer.
Yeah. So Ferdinand, like Les Ferdinand,
Ferdinand
had
was
9,
9,
and he had to go to 10 because Shearer came in and went, oh no,
Yeah.
I'm 9.
I'm the number 9, Les.
I mean, imagine that's Sir Les Ferdinand
Leslie.
as well. Like,
Leslie.
you know you're a big hitter when you tell Les Ferdinand to change numbers.
Leslie,
I bet Shearer
move along, mate,
I bet
move
Shearer didn't
along.
just tell him. I bet he didn't say Leslie. I bet someone's had to go through someone to sort that.
Imagine having that conversation with Les.
Oh my God!
If you're the
but
admin,
apparently
you have to go across
he
it.
just turned around, didn't he, and went, "Yeah." Like, do you know what I love about Les Ferdinand? The story is, and I don't know this firsthand because it's only what came out.
Yeah.
He turned around and said,
No
"Whatever it takes to get him here, I'm willing to sacrifice."
Right.
And I'd
I'm
like to
believing
think
that.
that's
mate.
true.
I want to believe that story because
Me
if that's
too.
the case,
That's why I tell it.
because it'll improve the team. So let them have 9.
Yeah.
Class.
That's why I want to tell it.
That's a front 2, that wasn't it?
Oh, that's a
Crosses
handful,
into the
mate.
box. Imagine being centre backs.
So you're telling me you can win top hats, you're unbelievable at set pieces, you can run channels, you're really strong, you've got a great touch back to goal, and you can finish. Both of them.
Amazing.
He just didn't jump very high, Les Ferdinand, did he?
Yeah, mate. He's not actually that tall, though, is he?
No.
Who was the wingers? Keith Gillespie?
Keith
And Ginola.
Would Ginola be?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Ginola on the left.
Yeah. Ginola on the left.
Just hang a ball in the box, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Does it?
Just hang it up.
Warren Barton in diags.
Yeah.
Loads of
Philip
assists.
Albert just clipping it in there. Rob Lee.
I remember being a kid and we used to go to watch Colchester United and they won the conference, they'd done the double in the year 92, I think it was. And they used to have Nicky Smith, who I played with, on the left. And I think you used to have I think it was Gary Bennett. They used to have do you know Roy McDonough? He was like a legend where I'm from. He's like, his biggest thing, he's got like the most sendings off. Like he's got a book, Red Card Roy. Yeah. But he was more than that. To be fair to him, he was more than that. Like he was scored loads of goals and stuff. And I'm friends with him on Facebook, and he always puts up the teletext, and he's like 2 goals, 2 goals, 2 goals. But he used to do that. He used to shout, hang it up. Hang it up on the keeper, and just point at his elbow, and you just think there's not many of them around anymore. Is
Keeper's
there?
gone now.
Yeah. He was ruthless.
Nice.
He was.
Good question, Mr. Chilp.
Yeah, well done, Mr.
Cheers,
Chilton.
Pete. Cheers, Pete.
Yeah, well, we don't want to. Yeah, Mr. Chilton. No first name given. You had a little 10-minute break there. Well, that wouldn't have been picked up by the listeners, but
The audio will.
I've had to loosen my belt there. I've had a right go. Oh, hold on, sorry, Gav's rude days.
Sorry.
Just recruiting.
He's recruiting for Brackley. He's always working. That's the life of a manager. You haven't seen that Life of Brackley manager? Match day. You need to watch it.
It's a good effort, wasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of people who have watched have said how natural you were as a YouTuber as well.
You get a lot of it about being a YouTuber. I mean, I've had a chat with the CEO of the 3 to 18 Trust today, and he's concerned about losing me really as a full-time YouTuber. And I just trying to put his mind at rest, but I've said I can't promise anything. If the demand's there, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Can we crack on, please?
It's not talking
Sam going off
One thing I have to put up with this all the time. The viewers don't have to put up with it, do they?
You're right. You ready then?
Yes.
This one's from Mike, or could be Joey Barton Fishing. What is your most controversial football opinion?
Oh.
Or the one you want to say on camera?
I tell you what yours is. Gav's is.
Go on.
Gav thinks Trippier's useless.
it's not how I'd put it.
It's pretty much what you did, what you have put it when you had a couple of beers with
I feel like, and again, in recent games, he's obviously, to play in the Premier League, he's obviously an extraordinary player. You can't get away from it. But I just don't think he's the player that people think he is. I feel like he's incredible at set pieces.
Most assists, hasn't he?
He's incredible at set pieces. Well, and that speaks for itself. A lot, like we were saying about like Ryan Taylor the other week. He's in the Newcastle team because his set pieces. Ben Davies, Benji. Like, I'm not going to take that away from him. It infuriates me when like football fans go, "He's crap." Titus Bramble's crap. It's like, well, he's not crap. He's played in the Premier League for 10 years. Like Bobby Robson signed him.
Yeah. Relative to the people he's playing against.
It's relative. I just think that there was that time I texted you, didn't I? And he hadn't completed a pass in like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and then he's getting exposed. Games. And I do feel like in some games he can be, when you're on top, he's very good. When it's against you, I don't think he's that leader. And I think, you're that leader and you're shouting and you're like getting in the opposition's phase. I feel like it's a bit for show. And I think, well, get your own house in order first. Like, be the best player on the pitch and then start pretending to being a leader. So yeah, that's just the feeling I get from him. But
he has had a couple of bad. I mean, the stats are still really good, but he has had a few bad games. I saw him at Wolves Newcastle. He had a horrendous game. And then he had the Everton. I think you might have been in that one, Dave, and he was terrible. And he had a terrible game at Everton. So he's had some difficult games.
But he can be incredible, and I'm not going to take it away from him. He's obviously a very good player, but he can have one, can't he? Yeah. He's all little.
I'm trying to think of some.
I'd say I'm pretty mainstream in my football things. I hate Man U, hate Liverpool.
Something I do disagree with is all the West Ham fans who hate David Moyes. I can't get my head around that.
So my father-in-law and brother-in-law are West Ham fans. So I say my father-in-law all the time. He's not having Moyes. I was like,
they're sixth in the Premier League.
They just won a European competition. And they're sixth in the Premier League, but he's not the only one. There's a lot of negativity around David Moyes.
It feels like there's. I don't know that fan base too well, but you do hear.
Do you know what it is? They get itchy feet. They want drama. Like when they're doing well, and I'm going to call them out now. When you're doing well and you're sixth, what have you got to moan about? Yeah. You've got nothing to moan about. So when
in the Premier League with that squad,
exactly. Yeah. And when you're struggling and the players aren't doing it, you've got something to whinge and moan about. So instead of just going, do you know what? He's doing an incredible job, absolutely brilliant. I think most of the time, like West Ham, I grew up with West Ham supporters all around me, and I just always feel like they're at their best when they're whinging and moaning. Like, you can only go a couple of years ago and they were struggling relegation.
Can we just tag? I'm going to tag Trippier and West Ham fans in this, then that'll go. No, but I think you're right, because you meet up with other West Ham fans. I don't know if you're happening, you go, "Oh, hey, you're right. Everything's going okay, isn't it? Yeah, move on." Whereas there's like Man U fans, "Oh, what about him?" Yeah. And like the ones, it needs something to talk about.
They need the stimulation.
Shubi's a classic, isn't it? Oof. Did he go down there on Saturday? My goodness, he's going to get sacked, isn't he?
It takes a strong supporter to go, players have been brilliant, credit to them, the management team, fair play to them. Like, all right, we lost at the weekend, but we're sixth.
He's not like a sexy manager, though, is he?
That's what it is, isn't it? Yeah, huh? That's
not like a sexy manager. He's not fashionable, is he? He's not like he's not like Ange at Tottenham or he's in Poch or someone like that, is he? Klopp, and he's like, oh, it's David Moyes, like. He's like, old, he's Scottish.
He's not like coming. He's not going. Like doing all of that. Like
that was good. That was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. But like when they do that, and you're like, oh my god, like, and he turns up, and he's like got the hair over there, and he's still got that. Even though it's winter, he's still got that tan.
And some of the Dutch managers as well.
Yeah, of course. Yes, of course. Yes.
You'd set him up well.
I should have done that on the Brackley thing. We should have done that. Yeah, but it's like they sit there, don't they? And like you think,
stop whinging, West Ham fans.
Yeah, flipping heck.
Stop whinging.
What a man, even to be the fall guy at Man United, I felt for him there, didn't you? Going in after Sir Alex Ferguson. Sorry, show some respect.
Yeah.
Like to go
stop whinging, West Ham.
Yeah.
I agree, though. I think I agree with you, Dave. That's a good one.
I like
you
that.
Come up with a good one. I came up with a good one for you.
For me, yeah. I do have like a few opinions on a few things, but I don't think they're mainstream. I'll probably leave that.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole. Me and Dave and Gav have an argument after a few beers.
I'll be cancelled off everything.
Yeah.
Don't want to change.
That's the problem. You can't have your honest opinion anymore, can you? Like, you get cancelled. So you've got to be conservative, and you've got to Whereas you want to say what you like. Surely that's what football was all about, isn't it? Like your own opinions on, certain players and certain teams, and you have to be conserved now, don't you?
But because of the rules that you've got, obviously you leave yourself open.
Yeah, of course. I think it's in everyday life now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can only say certain things.
Should we leave Gav to sort of keep it? Anyway, next question.
To be continued.
Steve Faulkner.
Stevie!
What was it like playing with Leo Fortune West? When is he on the podcast?
That must just be for you.
Has anyone got contact for Leo?
Yes. I've got his number. But I don't know if
give him a ring live on the
He might have deleted that one after he won the lottery. Got a new phone after he won the lottery.
Would we get him on?
Let's try and call him.
FaceTime him.
Makes great audio. This does.
Yeah, sorry everybody.
Yeah, sorry guys. Yeah, we'll do it later. We'll
do some audio descriptive stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, what was it like to play with him?
I didn't play with him.
I played with him and against him. Yeah.
I don't think I played against him either.
To play with, effective. Was the word
I can imagine hard work for you as a midfielder.
He's the worst best footballer you've ever played with.
Yeah.
Like so effective. If you drop as a centre half, he's a dream because if you drop the ball into him, even if it's a yard either side, even if he can't trap it and control the ball, he's affecting it. And he was hard work. And to play against, he was an absolute nightmare because if he couldn't get anywhere near the ball, he was volleying you in the head.
You have players, don't you, who are horrendous to play against, but they're horrendous to play with. Someone who's unpredictable. I used to I'd like to play with a centre midfielder who would get the ball and just roll me the ball.
Yeah.
But I'd also be quite happy to play against some players like that.
Yeah.
Leo he
was like, you put him in, he's on your five-a-side team in a small-sided game,
you're in trouble.
Fuming.
You're not thinking he's going to be unbelievable, but then you put him in an 11-a-side on a pitch and you're chucking balls into the box, he's going to score goals.
But he's always surprising you. So you'd be in five-a-side and you'd be like, oh no, he's on my five-a-side. And then you'd wrap the ball into him and just one touch, smash it in the goal and you'd be like,
well, which you'll know this, that goal he scored at the Meadow, where it was a long clearance, he chested it down, he's about 30 yards out, he chested it onto his left foot and he unleashed his volley. It's probably the best goal I've ever seen at the Meadow. Honestly, it was unbelievable.
But he did it all the time for Cardiff, didn't he? He was like, he's a Cardiff legend. Like, I don't want to be disrespectful by saying he's the worst best, but what he was very unpredictable. He was a Paolo one chop. 1 minute he could trap it and go, oh my God, it's Roberto Baggio, and the next minute you're going, oh my God, it's Sam Haston.
Obviously, I'm 100% better than Leo Fortune West.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
not better than Roberto Baggio.
That was more my point. He was unpredictable. He could be whatever, and it could be that end of the spectrum and that end of the spectrum.
Come on, Wit.
Next one.
On your orange phone.
Willie Yep.
Willie Yap.
Willie Yep.
I thought you were asking me a question there.
No. What was your favourite pre-match meal?
Chicken and beans.
Yeah.
Bowl of cornflakes.
For pre-match?
Yeah.
So you'd have that at like 11:30 or 12 o'clock?
I'd have bits of it. I'd always have a massive bowl of cornflakes.
Kellogg's cornflakes?
Yeah. I was quite...
How boring is that?
No, I used to proper look forward to it.
Yeah, put a bit of sugar on the top.
Bit of honey. But it's weird. Nah, it's a bit too weird to say.
Go on, say it. Go on.
He used to eat it naked in the bath.
With a swimming cap on.
With the other centre midfielder.
He's take all his clothes off. He's take all his clothes
and
off.
his boots on.
Put a swimming cap on. And then he used to pour his honey on it and then go, just do his boots up. And then he used to sit there with his old boy out and eat his...
That is a bit weird, Dave. That is a bit weird.
Are you leaving it there?
Have we got any pictures of that or what?
No, it wasn't that weird. I used to like eating. So I used to always like the best bit of the cornflakes was the bottom bit of the pack where it's all crushed up. So in the end, I used to crush the cornflakes myself, in my hand, crush them all into small bits, get loads in there.
With a swimming cap on.
The equivalent of 3 bowls. Crush it all up. Bit of almond milk. Yeah.
I was very light. I did like the chicken, but I
didn't eat it. That would probably be it. I wouldn't eat a lot for a game. I'd eat more for breakfast.
More breakfast, and then it'd be really light before a game.
All the cornflakes and then run for days.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's the key. That's a secret, kids out there.
Next question.
Cornflakes in the bath.
Good old...
With a swimming cap on.
From good old Rob Boxing Shrew.
Who?
Rob Boxing Shrew.
Oh yeah, friend of the show.
He is.
He's extremely knowledgeable about boxing, hence Rob Boxing Through. But he's got a big Twitter profile.
clues
Get on
in the-
it. If
clues
you're
in the
interested
name.
in boxing, follow him on Twitter.
Anyway, much like you, Sam, as it's to you. Sam,
Mutual respect.
it
I
was
would like to say.
recently the anniversary of the Everton Cup game. What are your memories of the game before, during and after?
I was sub, so disappointed to be sub. So if you're sub, it's not the same at
For a
all.
big game like that as well.
Yeah, rubbish. So I come on a sub for the last like 10 or 15
Who
minutes.
started in front of you? Jags played, didn't he? One.
Jags played. I think Ryan played. I think Jags and Ryan on the wings. I mean, we're lucky to win it really with them two. Miraculously hung on
Was it 1-1
somehow.
when you came on?
No,
They scored late, didn't we?
I don't think it was that late. I think they scored before I come on.
Oh, did they? Came on.
Zero impact anyway.
Yeah.
But after the game, not the same. If you look at any of the pictures, like not on them, because I come on as sub, didn't really feel part of it. Not a massive, great memory at all, really, for me. Someone said about your highlights. I would never say that.
Did you play against Chelsea?
No,
the next
then
day?
I wasn't even involved. I was having a bit of a bad time with the gaffer there. So for the Chelsea game, he didn't even put me in the squad. So I went home and I watched the Chelsea game from the flat I lived in opposite the Crown in Coleham on the telly.
Raging.
Fuming.
Can't have had many times like that in your career.
Yeah, I
though.
was going to say. That
No,
I think about all the clubs you've been at. You've been very much involved.
yeah, it's just a bit of a
How was that then for you? Like,
rubbish. Like it didn't feel Everton. Like
how did
didn't
you
feel
like?
part
Because
of it.
I'll be interested to see how did you respond to that though?
Not very
'Cause
well.
you would,
angry,
especially being a winger. Yeah,
horrible for the gaffer.
Yeah.
Like horrible in training, trying to smash everybody. Just a bit of a nightmare.
just standard then.
Yeah.
You know, Dave question here about Wolves from Amar's Music Show. Nice name. Dave, why was the Wolves team as fractious in Mick McCarthy's last season? Did it have anything to do with Carl Henry being stripped of the captaincy? Wasn't me. Carl Henry being stripped of the captaincy. Also, what are your memories of the Johnson Hennessy on-field row versus Bolton?
Oh,
Since the
great
season
point.
got relegated
Yeah,
from the Premier League. Yeah, it was fractious, I think, mainly because we had just escaped relegation the season before. We stayed up on the last day. And I think Mick thought we needed more quality in the team, more just better players in the team. So he went out and spent money on Jamie O'Hara, who come on loan to us, and did really, really well for us. He came in, but a big character. And he brought in Roger Johnson, who had just been relegated with Blues, but he'd been really good. He's part of, it was him and Scott Dan and Joe. Do you remember Joe was on loan then? That was a really good season.
Yeah.
And he came and he gave Roger the captaincy straight away. And like
He's a difficult character as well, wasn't he?
Rog, yeah, I think, so I don't know Rog that well now, but at the time, I'm sure I've heard him speak about this as well. He was very divided in the dressing room. He was
Big,
quite
yeah.
a real arrogance about him. I think that was more.
You say he's spoken about that since.
I think he's definitely humbled about the situation now. I know lads who are close to him and say like, what a good guy he is. But at the time, I think it was more of a. When you look at it as you're a bit older, maybe a bit of insecurities to him. He's trying to come into a dressing room.
It's hard though, isn't
to be a
it?
big personality and probably trying a little bit too hard. But the biggest thing for Mick was the lads loved Carl Henry. Absolutely loved him. He'd been our captain for the last 4 or 5 years leading up to that point. Proper players captain. He would go and have the difficult conversations with the manager. He would go and sort of face up to everything. So
Class
like,
acting.
you know, like at the start of the season when you're talking about bonuses or you're talking about even days off or stuff like that, Carl will go up and jeopardise his place in the team, I suppose, at times. The manager always play him in the end,
Yeah.
but he would go up and have those hard
Fall out.
conversations like, look, Gaffer, the lads aren't happy about this, the lads aren't happy about that.
Class.
And he'd always do that. And the lads loved a proper leader. And then he just, for no reason at all, got it stripped away because they'd spent money on Roger Johnson.
Bad
Gave
management
him absolutely,
decision, that.
And I'm sure Mick would openly admit it. I'm sure he's probably said it somewhere that was a
Big mistake.
big mistake. And then the dressing room then never recovered from it, and we had a bad season. And then it just spiraled and spiraled. But saying that, I do think if they'd have kept Mick in charge, because Mick lost his job in the February, and we were just outside the bottom three at that point. Remember we
Did the physio take over? Was it the physio?
assistant manager.
What's his?
So him, Terry Connor was the assistant
Oh, sorry,
manager.
yeah.
But we played, start of February, played QPR away, and we beat them 2-1. We were 1-0 down. Gibril Cisse got sent off for QPR. Did I say QPR? Yeah, QPR.
Yeah.
He got sent off for QPR, and then Mick went all out. It's almost like, I know my job's on line, I'm going all out. And he went with the most attacking lineup you can ever think for the second half. Against 10 men at Cupid, we won 2-1. He played me and Jamie O'Hara centre midfield. Absolutely none of us were both like attacking midfield, both trying to get forward. He had Matt Jarvis, an out-and-out winger on one side. Kevin Doyle played right midfield, who's an out-and-out striker. Sylvan Ebanks Blake and Stephen Fletcher up front, and just completely went for it. And then we won 2-1, so everyone was buzzing. And we played West Brom at home the next game, huge
massive
game,
derby.
massive derby. And he went the same, went 4-4-2 with that team. They played 3 in midfield, and they just we lost 5-1. Worst day on the football pitch ever that was. And then obviously Nick got sacked straight after that. It was like definitely a moment of, not madness by the chairman, but you know where he's just kind of emotions are high, impulsive,
reactive,
and he got sacked the next morning. I remember it was a split in the board as well. I think so many had to make a decision. I think it was like 3-2 with the board members. 2 wanted him to stay, 3 wanted him to go. And that was a tough day. That was when everyone went up, and like Nick was emotional, the players were emotional because we felt like we'd let him down. But I do think if he'd have stayed on, we'd have probably had enough to stay up. I think he'd have just got enough out of us. But then I think they agreed to bring Steve Bruce in, and then pulled the plug on it right at the very last moment, so he didn't come in. And then they gave it to Terry Connor, who's an amazing coach, but just wasn't right that time. And then we went on a stinking run. And then from that point, Rog went even more toxic with the assistant manager. Or the manager at that point, ended up leaving him out. And it wasn't good. And then you mentioned about a fight on the pitch. Not a lot really happened. Wayne Hennessy and Rog just come to blows. I think they just started arguing each other and then squared up each other on the edge of the box.
That happens. I mean, it happens a million times. I see Gav do that.
Yeah, there wasn't much people do that. It was just a moment on the pitch where.
Yeah, I think people read more into that, and people think, oh, they're not friends. Nah, it happens all the time. Training happens all the time. It's nothing bigger than that. It's not like. It's nothing.
I did it with Luke, didn't I? Did it with Eagle.
Luke Waterfall, sent off. Happens. I've seen it happen loads of times. Yeah. Anything else?
That's the end of the questions, but there's one we spoke about before, that whether you want to do it or not. One from the local media, for your thoughts on Shrewsbury Town. There's been lots of rumours, lots of things, but again, thoughts on where they are at the moment.
I think it's difficult, isn't it? I think unfortunately the manager's going to get sacked, isn't he? I think that's inevitable when you're struggling a little bit like Shrewsbury are, and it's not particularly attractive football, and there's a big swell of opinion amongst the fans. I think it's very difficult for the owners and chairmen to stick with the manager, isn't it? I think inevitably you'll be gone. Dave saving the exclusive for the Shropshire Star, his article. Gav doesn't want to speak because he thinks he's in the running for the job. So I think that question is just for me, Wits.
I think it's tough, isn't it? Because it's a unique occupation, isn't it? There's not many people standing in someone's office.
It's a terrible
for them to be sacked, and when they're doing well, they're not coming in and saying, "Oh, you need a promotion." Like as a manager, it's his livelihood. It's never nice to see. But it's almost a matter of when, isn't it? Yeah, it feels inevitable, which is really sad because I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? Like it's about performance. It's about the bigger picture.
Results.
Results definitely, but I do think like people can swallow as well. Like if the team are performing well, not quite getting what they deserve. If the manager's personable, which I don't know. I've not looked at his interviews. Like. You've got to take the whole thing into account, but ultimately are they going to stay in the league? Yeah, they'll stay in the league. He will keep them in the league, but is that progress? Is that what people wanted? Like when people wanted Cotterill out and a new manager in with a director of football, have they felt like they've been patient enough? Did they not think it was going to take a season to stay in the league and put the feelers out a little bit? I don't know. I think he needs a couple of transfer windows. He needs
because you say about him personally. I've spoken to him a few times. I listened to his interviews all the time. He's comes across a really nice guy. I hear really good things about him as a person. But he's come into the club in real difficult circumstances, hasn't he? With the transition that the club's going through at the moment. Yeah. New director of football. They've had to slash the budget. I think the overspend last season was ridiculous. Yeah. They had to kind of
tighten the purse strings, haven't they?
They
were never going to do as well as last season, were they?
No,
but it's impossible to.
One thing I will say about the chairman is he's talking about being impulsive. He's never impulsive, is he? He gives managers a fair.
Yeah, he has. He's already done that.
You've never seen him go really early. I think the earliest he's probably been on someone is John Askey, but I think that was never working, was it? That situation.
Even that dragged on a little bit. I thought.
So he'd always give the manager
absolutely.
time. But it's a difficult situation. Like we, because of our connections to the football club, we're privy to a little bit of information here and there, aren't we, about what goes on? And it's like the club's, from a financial, from a cash flow point of view, is not in a great place, is it? You hear stories about the chairman putting more and more money into club wages.
But his own money as well.
His own money.
I'll be honest, it riles me a little bit when the chairman gets the stick, because, like you rightly say,
people don't understand, though, do they? People don't know that he's put money into the club himself and how much he's put in.
There's a lot of variables in there. A lot of the, I feel like he's been hard done by me, and I think like if people hear the stories that end up coming out, inevitably they're going to come out. They always come out, but he's certainly got the club's best interests at heart.
Yeah, and I think people always say we're gonna say that because of.
We've been looked
we have
after.
a relationship with the champ, but I can honestly, from all the conversations I've had with him when I played it first time, when I played it second time, when I spoke to him in and around the place, he loves the football club, doesn't he?
Yeah, of course he does.
Right.
And also, we want to keep in with him because we want us three to be the next management team.
Yeah.
And Dave's going to be manager. Yeah. You're going to be head coach.
You're going to be
bus driver.
Life coach.
Like I said, life coach.
Life coach.
I think
we could do that. You could do that, Gav, couldn't you?
Life coach.
No, you would easily step in there with Dave, wouldn't you, and smash that?
Yeah.
I honestly think after seeing Gav's work, I'm not just bigging him up because he's there, but after seeing how much work he goes into at Brackley, seeing it firsthand on Saturday, speaking to people who have played under him and coaching, it's all about opportunities for someone like Gav. But I don't think. I'm not trying to put you up for the job, but I don't think if someone put you in in charge of a league club with the resources, then
you got to have a bit of self-belief. But like you know, when you're the manager, I'm the manager of Brackley Town, and like what I've got to do is I've got to earn the right with them. I've got to set out what I achieve with them, and then.
Dave will fast track all that, mate. He'll sort that. Yeah, you just go straight in his head. Coach, he'll be the figurehead.
We've spoke before, haven't we? I've always I live in the present with that. Like I think I love being at Brackley. Love the football club, the support, everything. You got a taste of it at the weekend. Like I really, really want to achieve something there. Yeah. Like, and we're so capable with it. Like all the ducks are lining up. So look, football's precarious. Anything can happen at any time.
If you get offered the Shrewsbury job next week, will you take it?
Next week?
Next week.
Was that a definite or?
No.
Have you heard that from someone? Has someone told you something? No, I think like for me is like you're
not answering it then.
No, football's precarious and like you want to achieve, don't you? And for me, like Brackley's a great opportunity. We've got everything there that needs to happen, and we've sort of taken a little bit of time. You know, we brought in 10 new players, a whole new medical staff. We're trying to create a new culture. I feel like we're just starting
to... Is he doing an interview for the job here, or what's happening?
It's like Witz is the CEO, just interviewing for the job.
This is the full speed.
We're just like on Brackley. We're just starting to gather momentum. The point I'm trying to get to is that a little bit for Matt Taylor as well? Does he need a little bit like? Does he need that time? And I think he needs more time, maybe a season, a couple of transfer windows.
He doesn't get time.
That's what I feel like he needs.
I mean, you get as much time as you're going to get at Shrewsbury. Roland gives you more time than you're getting in a lot of places. Yeah. So,
well, hopefully.
When this going out? Because by the time this goes out. By the time this goes out, us three. We could be back here doing a press conference. Us three. Am I sat in the middle? Sit in the middle and go. I'm just delighted to get the job. And, thank you very much. I'm bringing in Dave as a coach and Gavin as a coach. I've got Evolve as my media people. I've got Witz as academy director.
Yeah. Easy work.
Thank you very much. Just get behind us. And yes, I am playing on Saturday.
Yeah. Cool.
Anything else then? Are we done, Witz? Is that it?
Unless you want to say something at the end.
What a privilege to have done 50 episodes. We're here tonight, aren't we? Having a few beers. We've had 3 beers. We've had unbelievable food at the House of the Rising Sun. Like, what an incredible restaurant this is. I'm not just saying that. Like, the food has been unbelievable. Yeah. Like, what a very apt place to do our 50th episode.
But we have to thank everyone who listens, downloads, watches, because if you didn't do that, then
yeah,
and
just the lovely feedback, like the lovely feedback you get all the time. And please, when you see us, keep speaking to us and tell us that. Like, I genuinely love it when someone says, "Oh, I love the podcast."
And we love doing this, don't we?
Yeah,
we really
like meeting up, don't we? We're pals, aren't we? So it's nice.
We really enjoy it, and then if there's a real purpose behind it, and we're making other people's, if they're listening to the podcast on their run or on their drive to work or whatever it is, and we're making that a little bit more enjoyable, then that's a privilege to us, isn't it?
And we've got Budging, who have just backed us and been brilliant with us over the last couple.
Have they paid us yet?
Say again.
They put the money in the thing.
I'll give them a call.
But we're looking for sponsors, aren't we? But also we want ideas for themes for nights like we had. You know, we had Daniel Lador, we've had the Wrexham, and obviously the promotion winning team. If anybody's got any ideas for shows, would be good. Or meeting in pubs or anything that they would like, you know, for
or any venues listening that would like us to come down. We quite like this going on the road.
It's nice, isn't it? Yeah, it's nice. I think that's my favourite thing.
Just throw it out there on social media.
You know, having a drink and just meeting everybody.
Yeah, love it.
Talking
We're
football.
at our best, aren't we? And Evolve have been amazing since we brought them on board.
Thank you, Evolve.
Yeah.
Been amazing. And last but not least, Wits. How good's Wits?
How good was Wits at asking
Ian,
the questions
the babysitter, Whitfield.
He was good with the questions there, wasn't he?
You were good, Wits. We'll have to mic
you
up next
reminded
time.
me of a young
Parkinson.
Bob Monkhouse.
Bob Monkhouse.
Bob Monkhouse, not Bob Monkhouse. What was it?
Bob Monkhouse, yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of Bob Holness. He used to do the one with what was it? The white things and the blue ones across there. What was that called?
Blockbusters.
Blockbusters. That's it.